What's up, Neanderthals? Welcome to the Salt and Pepper Podcast. I'm your host, Vaden, and here's my co-host,
Carson.
Today, we're going to be giving advice on things that we've never experienced. And I think it's going to be pretty interesting, mostly because we've never experienced these things before.
Yeah, even though he just repeated himself, we're filming in a car with windows down in the rain, so audio is at best it can be.
I think our first topic is going to be about skydiving. Personally, never been skydiving, believe it or not. Somehow it made it on this list. Planes, parachutes, people, falling. Pretty much the gist of skydiving, if you've never heard of it. First tip, get a parachute and learn how to use the parachute.
Yeah, there's a thing called a pull tab on them things. And I've never been skydiving, but that pull tab usually opens parachute and probably does pretty good.
You could also try to open it like a bag of chips and see how that goes for you.
I don't recommend that one. I don't know exactly how would that even work. What's the intel of that?
You could probably just peel it right open,
Like open the bag of it?
like
Wear it backwards?
Take your hands and just spread them, and that's the motion you would do for the backpack. No chips inside, but safety and
possibly
life.
A plummeting death inside, I'd say, with that one.
I don't know. Second tip, find a plane. Preferably one you're not driving, unless you know how to drive a plane, but also you're going to crash a plane because you're jumping out of the plane.
Well, I don't know if you drive a plane. You mainly fly it, but also airports are pretty good at getting those. Military bases, those ones are a little more risky.
If you ever play Grand Theft Auto, just kind of do what you do on there now.
Well, I don't think they have a controller on them things, but they have a controller, but it doesn't really look like a video game controller, probably. They have a thing called autopilot. If you figure out which button out of the 8,000 that are on there does that, that might be good. Or what he said earlier, probably just go with the get a pilot yourself. So,
I feel like people with the name John are probably good pilots. Stay away from people named Matthew that are pilots. Just got an eerie feeling about them.
What do you have against a Matthew?
It's just Matthew's not a pilot. Matthew's more like a semi-truck driver.
What?
John is a pilot. John the pilot. John pilot.
Name me a John pilot.
John Matthews, the pilot.
Yeah, guarantee that's a human.
Probably.
Somewhere. Probably not a pilot, but it's a human.
Tips. Those are our tips for skydiving. Yeah. If you agree, go skydiving. If you don't, go skydiving. Number 2, lion taming. I would explain what lion taming is to you if I knew, but I don't.
Well,
So, as far as I know, deals with the taming of lions.
I think there's something with a circus in there. It's like a circus act, possibly. I don't know.
Probably like a bone and a rope and a lion. So, my first tip is, learn how to survive a lion attack.
Yeah, those are big ones at zoos. You may want to.
Possibly buy a 12 gauge, depending on what's going on and how studied you are for this.
Maybe get someone who is a zoologist or something that knows these things about lions. Maybe get a lion tamer to train you. I don't know.
I feel like you get some meat that is not a part of your body, and you kind of train it like a dog, I think. Minus it being a dog.
Ain't a lion a cat, though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's a cat. Maybe train it like a cat. Just a ginormous cat. It clearly won't eat you.
Maybe.
That one's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 3, horseback riding. I think if you've never heard of it, say the name, and that's probably what it is.
Probably similar to lion taming or skydiving. They're kind of in the name.
Yeah. So, pro tip, probably get a saddle. It's not necessary, but it'll probably help a lot. especially if you're unexperienced.
A big thing, hold on to the horse. By all means, probably to hold on to the horse would be the biggest one.
I think holding on to the horse is probably a very crucial part. Fingers holding on, arms, maybe teeth, depending on how scared you are.
Yeah.
You just really want to wrap that thing up like a hot taco.
I wrap it up like a hot taco. You don't wrap a taco. That's a burrito.
Soft shell taco. On to the next topic. Mountain climbing. If you don't know what mountain climbing is,
Read it.
probably say the name, and that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
So, first tip for mountain climbing, learn to climb.
Make sure you have hands, too. That's a big one. If you don't have hands, it'd be a little hard.
Or you could ask the horse riding guy how he uses his teeth to hold on, and you might be able to do that. You could do that. Or maybe get a jetpack or a grappling gun like Batman. There's a different ways you could approach this.
Yeah, mountain climbing. You could climb down the mountain. That could be an option. Oxygen gets a little low, so you might want to bring an oxygen tank if you take that route.
Oxygen's probably important, as far as I know.
Yeah, depending on the mountain, it's probably a little chilly. You may well bring a coat or two, or gloves, or a hat.
I would recommend going butt naked. It's a more freeing experience, and you're not limiting your movement. So butt naked mountain climbing is probably the way to go.
I don't know. Well, again, if you're going down it, it gets less and less cold, so if your body can withstand it like a gorilla, you might be able to do it. Next one.
The next one we have buying drugs.
Now, this is a controversial one.
This is
Definitely.
for our felons out there. Shout out to all those guys. Orange jumpsuits on top. Don't get caught. It's probably my number one tip.
Yeah, make sure there's no blue or red lights near you. That may be a big thing.
I would say be a good drug dealer.
Yes.
Be
Well, we're
concerned about your...
We're buying it. You're messing up our segment, buddy.
Either way,
Okay.
care about the drug dealer, or if you're dealing the drugs, care about the drug buyer. Either way. Safety comes first in using these
Yes.
experimental drugs. Yeah. So
Listen to what the drug dealer says. Make sure you don't have any illnesses towards these things. Probably don't consume it all.
read the manual, I would say, if he gives you one. Like I said, safety first. So I think by law they're regulated to give you one. But don't let anyone else see the paper. Or the paper you're giving them that has the face of a famous person on it. You know, sometimes a president, sometimes not. Usually valuable. And definitely don't let them see the substance you're getting ready to take.
Yeah, maybe don't do it out in the open, too. There might be someone who tells you, hey, he's buying drugs over there.
And then you should probably say, no, I'm not. And
I'm just buying a white powder substance. Or
flour.
Yeah.
Asking a neighbor for some flour or salt or whatever they used to ask for. Sugar. I don't know. All my old folks
If it's in
out
the
there.
pill size, say it's for your grandma.
All of my old felons out there will understand that one. What if you ask your neighbor for some reason? Old people like asking their neighbors for things. So I think that's going to wrap up the section of buying drugs, dealing drugs. We're taking a different route the next one. Flying a plane.
This is similar to the skydiving one where, hey, if you are able to fly a plane like we're going to tell you how to, it may help you skydive later.
First tip, bring a parachute, because you probably don't know how to fly a plane.
Yeah.
Second tip, when you're in the cockpit, don't worry about the seatbelt. Okay, it's not going to save you. just grab onto the joystick and start yanking and pulling. I mean, just like really go at that thing. Once you figure out which direction you're going, like you probably figure out a landing zone.
Yeah, you make sure that the wheel things are always there, because if you don't know how to fly, the wheels to lift off, you may want to know how to keep those.
It's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had a cut. Someone realized we were doing a podcast and parked up next to us, asked for autographs, but obviously we just couldn't allow it.
We called the people we told you not to go with when you do the drug deal. We called the people with the red and blue lights. That person now has been confiscated.
Yeah. So shout out to all those convicts who are getting ready to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
Back to what we were saying. Landing gear. Keep it out. Don't cut it off. You want to land.
Yeah.
You want some gear.
Yeah. When you land, you want to keep those wheels, because I don't think without those you'd be doing so hot. Well, you might be doing hot. You might go ba-boom and kill yourself, but you don't want to do that.
Safest place to land other than a landing strip that you will live on. Water. Try water. Mm-hmm. Sully, I think's his name. Hudson River. Pretty incredible. Pretty great hero.
Uh-huh.
Big inspiration for mine while I am flying my RC plane.
Yeah. Also, the Wright brothers, maybe a barn. You may want to aim for a barn. I'm assuming with the modern technology that doesn't change.
Barns are not that big anymore. Or, compared to a plane.
Well, what plane are you doing? Are we doing the
Boeing 747?
Oh. Maybe aim for a big barn.
And not a big building.
Yes.
Okay. Next topic. Fighting.
Interesting one.
I have never been in a fight, really. But I imagine it would probably go something like John Cena on the WrestleMania events. Or another inspiration, Batman in all of the Batman games, the Arkham games. Mm-hmm. Probably very similar to how I would fight.
Now, we'll say you can't hit buttons when you're fighting in real life. I don't believe so. There is no, what we'd call a quick time event. You don't hit triangle when it pops up. It doesn't pop up. The only thing that's going to pop up is possibly a fist or a foot.
Or a gun.
Yeah. You may want to bring that, though. A gun usually defeats hand or foot.
Or brass knuckles, or a knife, or anything that could harm somebody. Probably not a grenade. Or any bomb.
I don't know if that's a fight at that point. I've never heard of a grenade fight.
Make sure you prepare for chemical warfare.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? They could just throw salt out of their hands and just blind you.
Maybe it's like those Japanese fire guys who spit fire out of their mouth. I don't know. I would want to fight one of those guys.
Mm-mm.
Probably.
Gun's probably best option in a fight. Yeah.
Or hot potato. A hot potato is a good option.
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to building a house now.
Yes.
House building is fairly simple to my knowledge. You start off on the ground. You place a floor. Cut a few trees down. Treat the logs. Floor made. Easy as that. Walls. Very important. Ceiling, roof, windows. Those are all pretty crucial.
Windows are nice for design. They make them look nice. I think so.
You can see what's going on outside.
Mm-hmm.
Especially chemical warfare. Or hot potatoes being thrown at you.
What's with chemical warfare and hot potatoes? I thought that was last subject.
Hey, building a house and getting in a fight, they can be pretty relevant at the same time, I feel. Someone messes up in your house, I'm going to be pretty angry. I might throw a hot potato or two or Febreze them in the face. I think that's counted as chemical warfare. I don't know, there's chemicals, and I am declaring war on your fairness.
Yeah, you may want to use those for neighbors, but building a house, we're not to the neighbor phase yet.
That goes under building two houses.
Yeah,
totally different subject.
Yes, two houses, very different subject. Don't listen to that geometry thing. That doesn't work. Just big squares.
And if anyone ever uses a tape measure, just know that they probably weren't loved as a child. Next topic, being pulled over. This could be by road rages, people, raiders, like current pirates, you know, those are probably a thing. Scam artists can pull you over. Best tip, don't pull over. If you see flashing lights, probably a joke.
Speed up.
Probably a joke, so just
Probably
leave
someone
them.
who's going to be mean to you, just speed past them.
If they say they have a piece of paper or a ticket, just know it's not for an arcade and keep going.
If they want a license or registration thing, just say, I don't know what those are, and speed past them.
That is a good tip. Right there. Give them maybe a hot potato. They might like that. Number 10, interrogation. Best way to do interrogation or survive interrogation.
We both know what it is.
Yeah, you know, doing interrogation and surviving interrogation are pretty different, though.
The number one thing to do, lie. You always gotta lie in interrogation.
Especially about something that they can't trace.
Yeah.
Example. Where did you put my child, John? Now, this happens quite often. Not to me personally, but I've heard stories. You tell them where you put the child, but not really. Not really. Fake child. You tell them that. Then they go there, and you flee the country.
Get one.
Probably. Not speaking from experience, but probably.
Get one of them Build-A-Bears. Really convincing for a child. Then flee the country, like you said. You may want to do the plane thing, number 6. The plane may help. And skydiving, maybe, if they try to shoot you down.
Yeah. And once you reach the ground, hop on a horse and climb a mountain, you know? While you're at it, tame a lion.
These all connect to each other, obviously.
Waterboarding. It's a pretty popular form of interrogation invented by the Chinese.
Just drink it. Just drink the water.
If they put a rag over your face, use that time to do your face treatment, you know? No one likes an acne face.
Yeah, get that lotion thing, they call it, and your skin will look nice.
We're going to move on to the next topic. Escaping a fire.
Ooh.
Now, my first tip and my first thought is water. So, build your house underwater is probably the best idea I have.
If you see the fire, run away from it. I mean, that is a huge one. Just make sure it's out of your view. Like,
yeah, just close the door. As long as you can't see it, it can't hurt you. I think that's fair. I think it's fair. You just run.
Yeah.
Hide under your bed. The firefighters love that. They love hide and seek.
For measure that we don't get in trouble, don't hide under your bed. Run away from the fire, yes. Don't hide under.
Get out of the house.
Yeah, leave the house, please. We aren't trained professionals.
Unless you're cold. Next topic. Surviving in a desert. Ooh.
Yeah, this is our final topic of discussion, and we chose this one very vividly because it's a hard one. It's a very hard one.
First tip. Know where you're at in the desert.
Get a map.
Don't get lost. Just survive. Find water, food, water.
Dig a hole in the ground. It'll lead straight to water. We're if you don't believe it, our land masses are...
Our island's floating.
Yes. So if you dig deep enough, you will find water.
It's actually just buoys, I think. I think they're really just buoys. And the government just wants you to think they're land. They're not. Don't let them lie.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to give you viewers a sneak peek to a fan and a supporter that's been with us through the ride of this 48-hour determination that we're going to start a podcast.
We've been thinking about this all
48 hours. All 48 hours.
Yes.
We've slept none, really. You know, he's just a really good supporter.
Mm-hmm.
You can really talk about government or Minecraft.
Things you can do in Minecraft,
Legally.
hypothetically. This is where all this is from. This is all on Minecraft, everybody.
Yeah, in case you missed that.
Yeah.
Mr. Ouch, as we're gonna call him for the code name.
So we don't get sued.
Pretty good supporter.
He actually gave us a podcast idea we will share with you some other day, probably.
Football coach. You know, he's quite inspiring in the things he does. Like hiding from you and then tagging you and saying you're it. And then you realizing that everything in your life has led up to you taking the hardest class in the high school and realizing that you're in a class with a bunch of children. But it's okay, because I am also a child. Everyone's a child on the inside. Probably.
I don't know.
Evolution's a joke.
We're all children.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
Your age is not real. You're not real.
It's a figment of our imagination.
It's actually a simulation, I'm pretty sure. All right. I think we're going to cut it here, viewers. Thanks for watching. Please like this video. Subscribe if you want to see some more of this content, if you want to call it that.
Comment, give us suggestions for what you want to see on the podcast. I think we've decided every Tuesday we're going to talk about the NFL, because we both like the NFL. Maybe talk about wrestling, whatever you guys want to see. That is, we are able to do.
Random topics.
Yeah.
Random top 10s.
Yeah.
Random anything. Just put it in the comments. And we're gonna cut it here. So thanks for listening to the first episode of Salt and Pepper Podcast.